Smile. Do you need a headshot in the voiceover industry? That's our topic today. But first, welcome to the daily voiceover huddle. We do it every weekday morning, and the goal here is just to give you a little actionable insight to help grow your voiceover business. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint. If you want to check one of these out, you can get the digital download and the audiobook, plus 4 free gifts for less than $10 in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And so we can make sure you get this content as quickly as you can. And we're going to do some, did I mention the shout outs? Don't forget to chime in on the shout out so we can do some shout outs too. And the Vegas event is live. It's already it's going. We're down to 4 people already for the record your demo live on day 2. And then, of course, day 1 is just the learning part of the thing where we just are going to talk about the voiceover industry in general. If you're new to voiceover, or if you're not even new, you haven't even started, this is the event for you. We're going to break down the entire voiceover industry to very easily digestible pieces so that you can kind of get everything you need to know to get started and get off on the right foot in voiceover. So hope you're there. Once again, link in the description on that. All right, let's talk about today's topic, and that is whether or not you need a headshot in this business. And the short answer is no, you don't need a headshot. It's not like you aren't going to go anywhere if you don't have one. And the bottom line really is it's up to you. If you want to do a headshot, that's totally your call. Feel free to do it. Some people do, some people don't. It's completely, open to your choice. If you do want to do a headshot, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can obviously hire someone to go buy or to go shoot, professional headshots for you. And usually that's several $100s to do that. Or you can DIY it. These days, with the quality of phones that are out there and Instagram filters and stuff like that, you'd be surprised what a decent job you could do just with your iPhone or Android. If you'll notice at the very bottom, if you've ever been to my website, at the very bottom of my website, you will see my headshot, which I just took on my iPhone in my booth. Put a little Instagram filter on it to kind of, make it a little better. And that worked for me for a long time. And that actually, interesting piece of info here. That headshot that I took on my iPhone was the basis for this logo behind me. So when you see that, you'll see that it's basically my logo. This is basically just a silhouette of that photo. So you can do a lot with just your phone. But if you want to spend, the money to go get some pro headshots too, that's totally fine. Or you don't have to do it at all. Once again, completely your call. The one downside to doing a headshot for some people would be people will prejudge, or people have a tendency to prejudge a photo without hearing you. Meaning that, let's say you can do a really convincing millennial read, which I like to think I can. But if you look at my headshot, you see this bald guy with a white beard, and some people may be like, "Oh, that guy's not gonna be able to, pull that off." But I can, but some people may not even give me the chance. And if that's the case, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. There's plenty of other work out there, but it does, people can prejudge your headshot, so keep that in mind as well. Another thing to talk about is that some agencies require a headshot. Even for voiceover, some agencies are strictly voiceover, and other agencies are on camera and voiceover, and they require a headshot across the board. So you may need to have a headshot for that. So keep that in mind if you're going out there and trying to, get in touch with agencies to add you to their roster. But like I said, at the end of the day, it is completely your call. You do what feels best. I know people who have used stock photos. You know, if they didn't wanna use their real image, they used a stock image of someone else. Same kinda goes for a pseudonym, right? If you don't wanna use your real name, people use pseudonyms or stage names. Same goes for um, the headshot. If you wanna do that, once again, totally your call. And when it comes to those, you can be creative, right? You know, if you're coming up with a stage name or an image or whatever, you can be totally creative, and that's the fun part. But bottom line, it's your call. Decide whether or not you want to do it or not, and go with it. And that's it. Short and sweet today. All right. Let's see what people are saying today. Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Ding, ding, ding. He's the first one in today. And there's Terry from Fallston, Maryland. Sean from Longview, Washington. There's Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. And David from Hamilton, Ontario. Good morning, Dennis from Pasadena. And John the Irishman from Denver. And good morning, Callie from Pasco, Washington. And there's Andrew from Latvia. And good morning, Wayne from Port Orchard, Washington. There's Maria from Rhode Island. Happy Tuesday to Theo from sunny downtown Chicago. Let's do this. Yes, yes. Police Commander Z3 from Atlanta. There's Nicole from Ottawa, Ontario. Just found out I got offered my first gig yesterday. Super excited. Isn't that great? That's a milestone right there. I mean, that first gig, you know how when people frame their first dollar made, on the wall in their restaurant or whatever. I don't know what you could frame from this. Maybe a photo of the payment or whatever, but that's awesome, Nicole. Congrats on that. More to come, I'm sure. Charlie says, good morning from Sparta, Wisconsin. Really enjoy your show. Tons of info. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. That's why we're here. Andrew says, congrats, Nicole. There's Joy from Southfield, Michigan. And Tim from Altoona. Tim says, headshots were discouraged in gym class, but totally satisfying. 100%. Throw a good elbow. Headshot. Edward says, good afternoon from Jacksonville, Florida. And there's Guy from Chi-Town. And there's Nancy. Good morning from Yankton, South Dakota. Callie says, great job, Nicole. And there's Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. Well, that's a quick one today, y'all. Any other comments about headshots? Do you have one? Do you not have one? Do you wish you had one and don't? Do you have one and wish you didn't? Let me know in the chat. The very first agent that I signed up with, they had me come in. It was a local agent here in Phoenix, and they had me come in for an interview, and they did require a headshot. So I actually, I went and found some good photos of me at one of our family photo sessions of just a portrait, and I just used that. So that's another option for you. If you've got a good photo that a good portrait photo that you've taken with your family or something like that, then you can totally use those for headshots too. Tracy says, do you think it makes a difference what you have in the background? No, I don't think so. I mean, some people will do it in their booth, where you've got the foam and the microphone there and everything. That's what mine is, or it was. I've got a newer one now, the one that's on the channel, but where the black suit. But the previous one, the one that's on my website at the bottom, was just me in the booth with the microphone there, and that was fine. But no, it doesn't matter because my current web headshot has nothing booth related in it. I'm just looking straight at the camera. That's it. There's Ethan from Toronto, Canada. Andrew says, "Do you do the headshot even if you don't have a booth?" Sure. Like I was just saying, if you can do a headshot with anything in the background, you don't have to take a headshot in your booth at all. Several of the different headshots that I've had taken, I've actually gone and met the photographer out, in the city somewhere and taken them. So, no, you do not have to have a booth to get a headshot. Dennis says, "What are your thoughts on using an avatar-like figure for your headshot?" That's a good idea. Um, if you don't particularly want to have your actual face, you can do a caricature, you can do a cartoon character, you can do, even Amy Weiss, who did our class 2 classes ago on pay to plays. She actually had a friend create for her, a headshot that was a Muppet character, which I thought was fantastic, and it actually looked like her. I mean, it was a very good representation of what Amy looks like, and it was in the booth. It was done by AI, I'm sure, but it even had her logo in the background, kinda like mine, and, it was really, really cool. So maybe something like that. So just get creative. There's Sage from Gainesville, Florida. Tim says, "I have a couple from my theater work." Yeah, you can recycle some old ones too. If you've got other headshots from, work or other things that you've done in the past. Now make sure it's relatively current. You don't wanna I wouldn't post a headshot of me with hair, right? So, make sure you don't use a high school photo or something like that, but, yeah, you can totally do stuff like that. Callie says, "I have headshots as an on-camera performer. I'm due for some new ones. They are so spendy though, and I'm definitely getting tempted to try, doing my own." Yeah, and there are some AI versions out there that you can do where you just upload a bunch of candid shots of yourself, and it'll create, like, really nice professional shots too. I've seen some pretty decent ones done with that. Lynette says, "I just got some real headshots from a photographer, and they were great. What a difference." That is true. I mean, while it is easier and cheaper, of course, to use your phone, the reason why you pay these people the big bucks is they know what they're doing. And, whether it be the location they're shooting in or just the actual angles and, their photography work, it's worth paying for if you've got the money to do it, because they will make you look really good. Some people are just not that photogenic, and that's totally fine. Just let them do their thing, and you'd be surprised, how well they can make you look. So thank you for that, Lynette. All right. Well, if there are no other comments, I've got a big day planned again. Yesterday was huge for me. I had a big, big e-learning that I was working on. Then, of course, sprinkle in some auditions in there. And then I was also working on two different um, video demos for clients. So doing the same thing today, finishing that e-learning, hopefully finishing those videos. So I got to get busy. But I thank you for being here as usual, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, and we'll talk about some more stuff VO related. So until then, break a lip. See you later.